Breaking news! Things are heating up behind the scenes with the Los Angeles Rams, and you're probably wondering the same thing I am. Is Aaron Donald really coming back, or is he just going to keep up the drama? I want to talk more about that later, including details regarding his contract, should he return to the Rams. But today, I need to talk about 3 specific players. And afterwards, I want to hear your opinion on them. Training camp is bringing a huge wave of optimism to the fans, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Before we move on, make sure you've hit that like button, but only do it if you're a true Rams fan. Tell me, what year did you become a Los Angeles Rams fan? And which game moved you the most? It's great seeing fans of all ages sharing their experiences. Now, let's get down to business. The Los Angeles Rams are kicking off the 2026 season with several compelling storylines, but 3 players stand out for very different reasons. Byron Young is becoming one of the league's most well-rounded pass rushers, Puka Nacua might be on the verge of transforming the wide receiver market, and Stetson Bennett is playing for much more than just a backup spot. Each of them is at a pivotal moment in their career, and what happens this season could shape the Rams' future for years to come. As training camp progresses, Byron Young is showing that he has taken another major step in his development. Last season was the best of his young NFL career, earning him his first Pro Bowl selection and the team lead in sacks. More importantly, he proved he is far more than just a player focused on pressuring the quarterback. Young has evolved into a complete outside linebacker, capable of handling every role required of him. Whether rushing the quarterback, containing the run game at the edge of the defense, or dropping back into pass coverage, he has become one of the most reliable defenders on the roster. This type of versatility is exactly what defensive coaches look for in today's NFL, which explains the player's rising value. Now, as he begins the final year of his rookie contract, Young finds himself in an excellent position. The market for elite pass rushers continues to explode across the league, with teams willing to invest massive contracts in players who can consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks. Even though those financial rewards are getting closer, Young has remained focused on what he can control. Rather than talking about future contracts, he has continued to put all of his attention on improving every aspect of his game. That mentality has not gone unnoticed inside the Rams organization. Head coach Sean McVay recently shared exactly why Young has become such an important piece of this football team. McVay explained that Young has improved every single year since entering the league and praised both his physical abilities and his mentality. According to McVay, Young has the kind of attitude every coach wants to see. He described him as mentally and physically tough, someone who attacks every meeting with complete focus and communicates through his attention and body language before ever saying a word. McVay even joked that Young looks like the statue of David, while praising the incredible shape he keeps himself in. Those comments show that Young's impact goes well beyond what fans see on Sundays. Coaches value players who prepare the right way, and McVay made it clear that Young sets an example for the rest of the defense. During Wednesday's practice, Young made such an impressive play in coverage that McVay reportedly ran across the field to celebrate it. That kind of reaction from a head coach says everything about the confidence the organization has in him. With opposing offenses expected to devote significant attention to stopping the Rams' biggest defensive threats, Young should continue finding opportunities to make game-changing plays. Based on everything McVay has said, the Rams fully believe he is ready to reach another level this season. While Byron Young is preparing for another breakout year, another Rams star finds himself in a very different situation. Puka Nacua enters this season without a contract extension, and that decision could end up becoming one of the biggest financial storylines the franchise has faced in years. Despite being eligible for a new deal, the Rams appear comfortable allowing Nacua to continue playing without an extension for now. As a backup plan, the organization could always use the franchise tag in 2027 if necessary. On paper, that may sound like a reasonable strategy. However, the longer the Rams wait, the more expensive this situation could become. Early reports from training camp suggest Nacua looks better than ever. He appears highly motivated and determined to prove that he belongs among the very best wide receivers in football. If he delivers another elite season, his next contract may completely reset the market. Some already believe he could become the first receiver in NFL history to earn $50 million per season. That possibility raises an important question. Would it have been smarter for the Rams to negotiate now, while the average annual value might still be significantly lower? Waiting could end up costing the team millions in future salary cap space. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport recently reported that Nacua is focused on improving off the field, and that contract discussions are expected to happen after the season. That means the Rams appear willing to let football take center stage before addressing one of the biggest contracts in franchise history. If no agreement is reached, and Nacua plays through the 2027 season without a new deal, he would eventually become an unrestricted free agent. The Rams could use the franchise tag, which is projected to cost approximately $31.5 million for wide receivers in 2027. At first glance, that number may seem like a bargain when compared to the largest receiver contracts in the league. However, there is one major difference. A long-term extension spreads money across multiple seasons, while a franchise tag places the entire cap hit into 1 year. That creates a significant challenge for roster building, especially during a season when the Rams may also need to make decisions on several other key players. For that reason, most fans should probably view the franchise tag only as an emergency option rather than the organization's preferred plan. The better Nacua performs this season, the more expensive every future conversation becomes. That is why every catch, every touchdown, and every dominant performance could ultimately increase the price of keeping one of Matthew Stafford's favorite targets in Los Angeles. Then there is Stetson Bennett, whose story may carry the most pressure of anyone on the roster. At first glance, this preseason appears to be about winning the backup quarterback job behind Matthew Stafford. In reality, Bennett is fighting for something much bigger than that. His long-term NFL future could depend on what happens over the next several weeks. With Jimmy Garoppolo no longer on the roster, many expected Bennett to have a clear path toward securing the number 2 role. However, the arrival of rookie Ty Simpson has completely changed the conversation. Simpson was selected in the first round of this year's draft, sending a strong message about how the Rams view the future of the quarterback position. For years, there were discussions about whether Bennett might eventually develop into Stafford's successor. Those conversations have largely disappeared. By investing a first-round pick in Simpson, the organization has made it clear who they believe has the highest long-term ceiling. That leaves Bennett with one important objective. He must prove he deserves to remain part of the Rams' plans. It is not as though Bennett has lacked opportunities. Before Simpson arrived, he had 3 full preseasons to show the coaching staff and front office that he could become more than just a temporary backup. While there have been encouraging moments, consistency has remained a challenge throughout his professional career. According to the Rams' official statistics, Bennett has completed 121 of 195 passes for 1,296 yards and 8 touchdowns across 7 preseason games, including 6 starts. His best production came during the 2025 preseason, when he tied for the league lead in touchdown passes with 5, finished second in passing yards with 512, ranked 7th in completion percentage at 68.8%, and posted the 5th best passer rating at 105.7. Those numbers showed meaningful improvement and suggested he was becoming more comfortable within the offense. Even so, there is another side to the story. During his first 2 preseasons, Bennett threw only 3 touchdown passes while also recording 8 interceptions. One of the lowest moments came during the 2024 preseason opener against the Dallas Cowboys, when he threw 4 interceptions. Although he eventually led a dramatic game-winning drive, that performance highlighted the inconsistency that has followed him since entering the league. Now, with Ty Simpson developing quickly, Bennett simply cannot afford another uneven preseason. Every practice, every series, and every throw carries enormous importance, because the outcome may determine whether he remains in Los Angeles or begins searching for another opportunity elsewhere. Looking at these three stories together, it becomes clear why they represent such a fascinating picture of where the Rams stand entering the new season. Byron Young symbolizes a player whose hard work has translated into steady improvement every single year. He is no longer viewed as a promising young defender. Instead, he has become one of the leaders of this defense, and someone the coaching staff clearly trusts in every situation. Sean McVay's praise was not limited to Young's athletic ability. He repeatedly emphasized his attitude, preparation, focus, and professionalism. Those qualities often separate good players from great ones over the course of a long NFL career. If Young continues progressing at this pace, it would not be surprising to see him become one of the league's premier defensive playmakers, while also positioning himself for a significant new contract. Puka Nacua represents a different kind of challenge. His performance has already established him as one of the most dangerous offensive weapons on the roster. But now the business side of football becomes impossible to ignore. Every outstanding performance increases both his value and the pressure on the Rams to secure his future. Waiting until next off-season may ultimately prove to be the correct decision if both sides quickly reach an agreement. On the other hand, another dominant campaign could push his asking price into completely new territory. The organization clearly believes it has time, but time often becomes expensive in the NFL. The better Nacua plays, the stronger his negotiating position becomes, and every fan understands that elite receivers rarely become cheaper after career seasons. For Bennett, however, there is very little room for patience. Unlike Young and Nacua, who are building toward massive opportunities, Bennett is simply trying to keep his NFL career moving in the right direction. He has shown flashes that suggest he belongs in the league, particularly during last year's preseason, but flashes alone are no longer enough. The Rams have invested heavily in Ty Simpson, and that changes the expectations entirely. Bennett must show that he can consistently protect the football, make smart decisions, and lead the offense efficiently whenever his number is called. Otherwise, his path in Los Angeles could come to an end much sooner than many expected. That is why these three players may tell the story of the Rams' 2026 season better than anyone else. Byron Young is proving that steady improvement can turn a talented prospect into one of the most respected defenders on the team. Puka Nacua is demonstrating how elite production can completely reshape a player's financial future and potentially alter an entire position's market. Stetson Bennett is reminding everyone how quickly opportunities can disappear in the NFL when young competition arrives. Each player is facing a different challenge, but all three are standing at defining moments in their careers. Their performances over the coming months will influence not only their own futures, but also the direction of the Rams organization as it continues building around its current core while preparing for the next generation of stars. As Rams fans watch training camp unfold and the preseason begins, these are the names worth following closely. Byron Young is chasing another dominant season, Puka Nacua is playing his way toward one of the biggest contracts in football, and Stetson Bennett is trying to prove that he still belongs in the team's long-term plans. All three stories will continue developing throughout the year, and each one could have a lasting impact on the future of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, it's your turn. Which of these storylines do you think will have the biggest impact on the Rams this season? Do you believe Byron Young is about to become one of the NFL's elite defenders? Should the Rams extend Puka Nacua as soon as possible? Or can Stetson Bennett keep his career alive by winning the backup quarterback job? Let us know what you think.